Hello my dear children. In today's English class, we are going to do modals and we are going to learn what it is, what are the different types of modals and how do we use them. So let's start the class. First, to understand modals, we need to understand what it actually is and what does it do. What is the scope of modals? Modals are simply auxiliary verbs. Now, what are auxiliary verbs? We know that auxiliary verbs are always put together or used with main verb. And why do we use auxiliary verb? Because it shows a verb's tense or to form a negative or a question. We also know that the three auxiliary verbs that we have, what are those? Have, be and do. And now, this is also a type of an auxiliary verb which is placed before the main verb and it is used to show the modality. Now what do we mean by modality? See, these verbs are used to express the ability, possibility, permission or obligation. These are modalities and they give additional information about the function of the main verb that follows it. They have a great variety of communicative functions. It means that they makes us understand the expression of the verb stated in the sentence. What are those? Suppose you can park here or you can park your car here. You can't smoke. I should go to the doctor. Now you see that there are many situations where you can use modals to convey several intentions. Now what do we know about it and how do we do that? We are going to study. There are a few rules of writing a modal verb. What are those? The first is that they are followed by a verb in the base form. That means the main verb follows the modal verb. I can run very fast. Run being the main verb. Can shows the ability. I can run very fast. They are the same for all the pronouns. All the pronouns, may it be he, she, they, I, you, could remains the same. So she could make it better, they could make it better, I could make it better or you could make it better. Remains the same for all the pronouns. They do not need auxiliaries. They can directly take negative or question form. See how it is? You can't smoke here. Can you repeat that? So can be used to form a simple, can't is used to form here a simple negative sentence and also as a question. So I've used can modal here. They never combine with another modal verb. You can't must read. That can't happen. Only one modal verb to be used in a sentence. That's it. Okay, so I have given you a chart of various modals that we use in our sentences. Every now and then we do use them and we are going to do this in detail. So here I have a list for you. Can, could, may, should, must have to, might, may, could, can. These are simple modals that we use in our day-to-day life. We use them in the sentences, but every word has different expression. See, can and could can be used for ability, can be used for permission as well as for possibility. How do we do that? Can for ability, she can play the piano. Could is used in the past tense. Can, the past tense of can is could. I could run fast when I was young. Not now. When I was young, I could run fast. Can for permission. Can I borrow your phone? Can is an informal way of actually asking, but you can use it for seeking permission. Could and may also. You may have a cookie if you eat your dinner. May is a more formal way. Should, like an advice. I think you should exercise more. Should, ought to, right? These are for permission. Should I go to school today? Must and have to are obligation. You must. There's no other option out. You'll have to do it. You must finish your homework. We have to clean the house. Might, may, could, can are possibilities. Might, may, May is like the least possibility. I might go to the gym today. We can hang out tomorrow if you're free, right? Coming to the details. First, modals of ability. What do we have as modals of ability? See, I have can and could. Can is used in the present form, while could for past. I can speak English. When I was 6, I could ride a bike. Could. So when I was young, I could. When I was in the age of 6, I could ride a bike. I can meet you tomorrow. He could speak 7 languages in 30s. Can and could, as I said, can for present, could for past. And for all other tenses, we can use be able to. They are not able to write correctly. Will she be able to cope with the work? Right? This was modals of ability. Then we have modal verb for permission. And I have made an arrow. See, it is stating that may, could and can. It can be more formal and used as less formal as well. May I use your phone? This is more formal. You may take this Friday off from work. Students may enter for free. This is a formal version of permission. Could my mother join us tomorrow for lunch? You may turn in your homework late. Passengers may sit anywhere. Can is like less formal. Can I borrow your black coat? You can use my phone to call your father. All children can use the playground, right? This is for modals of permission. Next we have for advice, should, ought to, had better. Should is for present tense and it can also be used for past tense as well. Like for present tense, you should take a break and get some rest, while for past tense, you should have called me, I was worried. Ought to sometimes implies moral obligation, right? Usually not used in the negative form. You ought to call your mother more often, just like must, right? Had better. You'd better pay your taxes on time, right? These are like implies some sort of consequences in action that follows. She'd better not cheat on her exam, because we know that if she cheats, she'll be detained or debarred from taking the exam. We have modals for requests as well. Would, could, can, will. Would is more polite. Could is also politer version. Can is less polite and will is also less polite. Like, would you help me clean the house? Polite way of asking. Could you bring me the bill, please? Polite. Can you help me study for my exam? Less informal. It's an informal version. Will you answer the phone, please? Right? Then we have modals for obligations and recommendations. Must, should and have to. Must is like a moral duty. You'll have to do it. Official written rule. You must respect your parents. You must visit the DC when you are in the US. Should, I should save more money each month. I should call my brother more often. Have to, I have to finish this report by 5 o'clock. Right? Then we have modal verbs for probability. Probability, how certain it is. Like for positive and negative. Must becomes mustn't or must not. Might not, may not. Can becomes can't. Like must, 100% sure. I smell bread baking. There must be a bakery nearby. And might, I might go to the party if I finish my work. May and could are like less certain. I'm very uncertain about going. So I may go to the beach tomorrow. This could be my last meeting with the office. I'm switching jobs soon. For can't or the negatives, it's the same. Then we have modal verbs. As I said, different verbs can be used for different purposes, like can for ability, for permission, for probability. I can speak Spanish for my ability. Permission, can I go to the bathroom? Probability, it can't be Mark, he's in London. Could for used for past ability, past permission, probability and request. For past ability, he could swim when he was 6 years old. For past permission, he could go to the theater. For probability, it could get much hotter in July. And request, I could lend you my notebook. May can be used for probability, but less probability of doing something. And permission. It may snow tomorrow. Not very sure, but yes, there are chances that it can snow tomorrow. Permission. May I come in? This is a formal permission that you seek from your teacher to come in. Very, very formal. Might. Probability is quite less. It might rain today. Must for prohibition or your obligation, and probability. You mustn't speak loudly here. Probability. It's quite dark. It must be after 8 o'clock. Should for advice. You shouldn't smoke. It is unhealthy. Will for predictions and spontaneous decision, like prediction. I think he will study harder this time. Decisions like I think he will study harder this time. It's very hot today. I'll open the window. Now there is a structure of doing. Suppose I've taken the modal should. How do I use the modal verbs in the different forms of sentences like affirmative or negative or interrogative? Subject plus modal plus infinitive. Like she should stay. How do we write the negative? She shouldn't stay. And for interrogator, WH family word, why should she stay? This is the structure. So I want you to practice and be perfect. Thank you.